Hello and welcome to another week of sales. I have Depop and eBay sales to share with you for the week of January 26th to February 1st. Scoot over here and we're going to do Depop first. I know, I'm shocked. Again, all of the sales I make outside of eBay are all thanks to Vendu. That is the cross-listing service I use. You can use it for free. You get 5 listings for free. I highly recommend you try it. I will put a link down below. I use the 5 a month free for like a year and some before I finally decided to go ahead and bite the bullet. It's been a big help for me to try to grow my business outside of just eBay. So this is my Depop sale. I know it doesn't show the price that I sold it for, and that is because Depop's weird for a lot of reasons. It has a lot younger demographic. So I will say, if you don't want to deal with problems, don't sell on Depop, because it can be great, but it can also be really terrible. In fact, the first sale I ever made on Depop, pretty much took me off of the platform for over a year and a half until they did Depop payments, because before it was just PayPal and there were a lot of scammy things happening. But once they moved to Depop payments and away from PayPal, much better, much better. Still have some issues, which I will go into in this sale. This is a 1970s skirt, Scottish wool, beautiful skirt. Unfortunately, didn't fit me or I would have kept it. This is from Melissa, so it was 100% free to me. So when someone sent me an offer for $15, I just accepted it because it was free to me. Yes, I could have gotten more for this, but the buyer did have to pay like $10 to ship it because it was Depop shipping. Depop shipping has like tiered shipping, kind of like Mercari does. So if you use the Depop shipping, just like with Mercari, it can be more expensive than if you just ship on your own, but then you have that protection. And like I said, I've had issues with Depop. In fact, I had an issue with this sale. I had a dispute saying that this had not been received. Like it showed as delivered, but had not been received. And I was like, I literally put this in the mail yesterday. So that's legitimately impossible. So I thought it was one of those instances where it was like, there are a lot of issues on Depop, both from the buyer and the seller, because there are plenty of people on Depop that send crap or don't send at all, or send nothing. It's a problematic, like I said, it's a slightly problematic platform, but that's mostly because of the demographic that uses that platform. And so I just responded with kindness, which I highly recommend because again, it is a younger demographic that uses that platform. And I was like, hey, I feel like you opened this dispute in error because I just shipped this yesterday. You bought it 2 days ago because they bought it over the weekend. So the earliest I could have shipped it was Monday. And this is the correct tracking number for this item, and it shows it's in North Carolina. It does not show as delivered. If you go to USPS website, it shows the correct tracking information. And they immediately responded within 15 minutes, and they're like, I'm so sorry. I actually opened this for the wrong item. It was for another item. Thank you so much. I'll close it out. And so they closed, literally, they sent the message and then they closed the dispute. They're like, it was been resolved. And then, towards the end of the week, I got a message saying, hey, this has been received and yay, everything's great. So just understand that if you have an issue, respond with kindness because chances are it's a mistake. And just again, share this with you guys. The very first sale I made on Depop was for an absolutely gorgeous dress, and I sold it for $50 plus shipping. And it was to another Depop reseller. So I'm guessing they wanted to resell it for even more. And they had a kind of crappy bio. They're like, I actually wear my stuff. I'm not one of those people that go thrifting and resell other people's used crap. That was the vibe of their bio. But I didn't find that out until after there was an issue. They received the item and then said it smelled dirty and whatever. I guess they like looked at my other social media and saw that I was one of those resellers and like was like, blah, this smells like atrocious, whatever. And I was like, again, responded with kindness. That's the review I got left. They didn't send me a message. That was the review. They gave me a 1-star review and that was the review. And I immediately messaged them when I received that because it was my first sale. And I was like, I can't have a 1-star review as my first review on this new platform. And I was like, hey, I think you reviewed the wrong item. I wash all of the items that I sell except for dry clean only items. And even some of them I do, but I didn't tell her that. In perfume free and dye free detergent because I have severe allergies. So anything that comes into my house, if I wear it or not, has to be washed that way. And then that particular dress, because it was in the summer, like was line dried. So it smelled like literal outside in sunshine. I know for a fact it smelled like outside in sunshine. And so I was like, I have no idea what happened, but if you'd like to return the item, if you don't like the item for any reason, I'm more than happy to send you a return label. At the time, I don't think that was something Depop had available to it. I was like, I'm more than happy to email you a return label and you can ship it back to me. Magically, that 1-star review just disappeared. I think that person was like, oh no, you're an adult. You have problem-solving capabilities. You definitely will make my life a living nightmare if I don't fix this. And then I was just like, all right, so after that went away, I was just like, I'm done. I'm done with you. I'm done with Depop. And then once they did the reason why I said I was done with Depop at that time, but I came back to it, was because of the fact that they did Depop payments. So that was a scam at the time for people to complain and leave 1-star reviews and then like wait for a half off offer, like get a refund of like half off, which would have made them, as I said, they were another reseller and it would have made it so that way they could have resold the item because then it would have been even cheaper, if that makes sense. So yeah. It was icky, which is why it took me a long time to like Depop again. I've made multiple sales on Depop now, and I have not had, this is like the first problem I've had in like over a year. So, and again, it wasn't even really a problem. It was just a mistake. And I've had that happen on eBay before too, where I've been like, hey, so I saw that you left me this review. Are you sure this was me? And they're like, oh no, I'm so sorry. And then it gets fixed. So I always try to respond with kindness first. I know in that instant you're gonna get like, I can't believe you did that, but if you like just sit with it for a second, calm down, and then like respond in kindness with like all of your customer service experience, which if you don't have it, congratulations. I've had literally way too many retail and service jobs in my life. Respond with kindness first, and if they continue to be complete buttholes, then you can match their energy. And I've done that before too. So I'm gonna like hop over here and do eBay. And you guys probably didn't really need to know all that information, but anytime I like info dump on you guys and I'm like, you didn't need to know that, I probably shouldn't leave that in. You guys leave me like the nicest comments saying that it does help. So hopefully that does help somebody. I do sell a lot of vintage, which is what Depop's like Etsy, but for young people. It seems to be in like hypebeast type stuff. But because I do sell a lot of vintage and I do sell a lot of like core stuff, and by core I mean like cottage core, you know, witchy core, or like night core, or gorp core. Like I sell like, or a coquette or whimsy goth, like all those cores. I sell a lot of stuff that fit into those because I like the vibes. So I do use it, and like I said, it's been a year and things have been fine, so just understand that. Okay, so we're doing eBay now. This is the last of those cups and saucers. Again, I've talked about it before, how I found a bunch of these beautiful Constellation Sakura Galaxy, like 6-ounce cups and saucers. I'm guessing because most of these have sold with singles, that people are doing it for like aesthetics. They're not doing it to help like repair a set because it's very much like Instagram-y. So that's what my guess is for this. Like I'm gonna spill the tea and like have a cute cup and saucer type of deal. Sold for $7.90. I paid $7 for all of them, like all the cups and all the saucers. So I have, you know, 7x my money at this point because I bought 7 of them and they have all sold. So because it was such a vibe, that's why I decided to do it individually. I was like, if someone needs to fix or fill a set, they can do multi-quantity and save some money. Or if they just want the vibes, they can buy singles, and I have loved doing that. This is from FlipCon. This is that Cancun piece that I recently listed in one of my Demolishing My Death Pile videos. Knew it sold. Again, someone said that this was a size 9/28, and someone reminded me that junior size existed, and that's why it was a size 9, but it like was smaller, because it's a women's size 6 is a 28-inch waist, but a junior size 9 is a 28-inch waist, which is wild. Thank you for whoever reminded me of that, but sold for $18, like super quick after I listed it. You can see here it sold like within that month. That's amazing. Butterflies and Moths, another piece that I just recently listed in the list with me. I knew that this would sell when I picked it up. Sold for my full asking price plus shipping. Again, I'm doing the books with shipping, and that seems to have made a difference, which I think is super wild. This is a vintage copy from 1964. I pick up these nature guides whenever I find them because they do sell. Another item that sold as soon as I listed it with paid shipping, $1.87, full price for me. This is one of the book bundler items, so I'm well into the profit of this. So, you know, that whole $1 I made off of this sale, great for me. Thank you, Melissa. Melissa, this was one of her actual items, I believe, that she wore in the 90s. She left a comment to let me know. Beautiful LL Bean women's large fisherman ivory cotton sweater, sold for my full asking price of $29.87. So Melissa, thank you so much. Another recent item that I listed and sold within the month I listed it. This is also from that big book bundle or warehouse buy that I did. I got several low bought offers for this because it is a hardcover graphic novel for World of Warcraft, but I kept declining them because I was like, no, I'm not selling this to you for $12. I know it is worth this amount of money. Someone eventually bought it for full price for $22.87. So this one was free shipping, again, because of the fact that I didn't have to relist it. Because it kept getting lowball offers and kept getting interest, I knew it would sell for full price eventually. So this is actually hilarious to me. I posted about this on my Instagram, how I was super annoyed. If you don't follow me on Instagram, it's the same as it is here on YouTube. I will just, you know, put the little up here. But I posted my story on Instagram how I was super annoyed because somebody sent me a message asking me, well, it says it's a size 8, but what are the exact measurements? You guys can see here in the listing, it says women's 4, 26-inch waist, like 26-inch. It says it's 26 inches. So not only do I have it in the title, the exact waist measurements, it's the last photo. This is what the last photo looks like, which has the exact waist measurements. And also in the description, it says it's a vintage size 8, but measures as a 26-inch waist, which is a modern size 4. It's 3 places in the listing. I do that with all of my vintage listings because of the fact that women's sizing was deregulated in the 80s, which is why we had the vanity sizing hotness that we have now. And like a size 6 literally can be 5 different sizes. Modernly or cuts because there's no regulation for sizing anymore. They did that for capitalism in the 80s. They're like, oh, if we make them think they're smaller, we'll sell more stuff. And then everybody just decided to YOLO. But I thought that was super funny because as soon as I posted that, the next day I woke up to a full price sale of the exact same skirt. So someone can read, thankfully. This is a Pendleton skirt, again from that big vintage buy that I did. You can see here I'm showing that it has pockets. It's a beautiful skirt. It sold for $29.87. I paid 25 cents for this. I just thought that was so funny that like somebody asked an asinine question and then it sold. I'm guessing because someone sent a message about it, it like boosted it up in the algorithm and that's why someone saw it and then like posted it. But it's also like fully dark academia, plus it has pockets, plus it's cute. So there's that. Another book that sold from that restore buy that I did where I managed to be there right place, right time and picked up a whole bunch of books from a bookstore going out of business. This is a brand new Joseph Roth book. Joseph Roth is a well-known writer. I I recently saw an interview Nicole Kidman did where like one of her most prized possessions is a signed copy of a book from Joseph Roth. Sold for $9.87, so my full asking price plus shipping. Again, this didn't sell with shipping for $14, but sold plus shipping. It's weird. This is A Stone, a Leaf, a Door by Thomas Wolfe. This is from 1945. Again, my specialty is between 1930 and 1980 books, where they're too new for the antique dealers and too old for the FBA buyers. So when I saw this, I was like, yes, I'm picking this up. $22.40. This also was one of the ones that hadn't been relisted yet with the paid shipping, so this is perfect. Again, I paid very little for this. This is a purchase that I made at a little small thrift that does buy one, get one free books. And because these were all paperbacks, they were $1. So I paid $2 for all 4 of these books. This is Anno Dracula. It is like a satirical, she's like a bounty hunter for Dracula. I don't quite know. It's supposed to be very fun, like very unserious series. You can see they're very thick. I just thought the books were pretty. Like it has a vibe. And so when I found 4 of them and they were all in like new condition, I was like, you know what? I'm going to pick them up for $2. Great. Sold for $26.87 and the buyer paid $6.88 for shipping. So this was a great sale to turn $2 into like 20 something dollars. Amazing. And yeah, so, and this wasn't even the complete set. Again, this series has like several books into it, and I had 1, 2, 3, and then like 5 or something. Someone still bought them all. So amazing for me. 3 years ago, I could not find a copy of American Gods in the Wild to save my life. So much so that when I'm doing the Nebula Award Challenge, that some kind viewer from my book channel sent me a copy, which again, I'm super grateful for, because of what has come to light with Mr. Gaiman. Suddenly, I'm finding all of his books at the thrift stores. But this does still have a TV show, and it is a Nebula Award-winning book, and it is his most popular book. And so, well, I guess Good Omens is also in the same boat because it's written with Terry Pratchett, so some people were like, but it's half Terry Pratchett. Terry Pratchett's awesome. Anyway, you don't need to know that. It's still sold for $1.47. I got this at the Book Bundler Buy, so this is pure profit. And if you don't want to sell a book for $1.47, don't. I'm going to keep saying that to people. Like, this is what I like doing. Don't do it if you don't want to do it. Cool. This is what also from that big Restore buy. This is a brand new book. It's a trade paperback book, super tiny. This is a tiny little trade paperback. Like, it is thin. Sold for $35. Boy in the Darkness and Other Stories by Mervyn Peake. Sold for $35 with free shipping. I paid 10 cents for this book. Black Like Me, when it's in good condition, especially these vintage copies, I will pick them up whenever I find them. I did buy this at the bin, so I have 25 cents into this book. This is one of those that I hadn't relisted. Anytime I have a vintage copy of Black Like Me, especially a 1960s copy, it does sell for me. I have bought and sold this book multiple times. Black Like Me, if you do not know, a white man did the full makeup and lived as a black man in the segregated South, Jim Crow era South, and wrote a book about it, like basically detailing the plight and the lived experience of black people in a Jim Crow segregated South. And it's a really important book. It's one that I need to reread. I haven't read that since I was in high school when I did my psychology class, because that was one of the books that we had to read in psychology class. So I need to reread that because I don't remember a whole lot of it, but I do need to reread that one. So the last 2 items I have to share with you actually sold to the same person, but it was an international sale through the Global International Shipping Program, because they've changed what it's called now. And I had to ship them separately because they were sold through that program, because I don't know why. I don't know why they couldn't bundle them together. The Book of Pluto, I've talked about how books that are valuable, some astrology books, occult books, horoscope books, some of those can be very valuable. This is supposedly a scientific look at astrology. I don't know. It sold for my full price of $24.87. I paid 25 cents for this at the bins. This was free shipping, so it's free shipping to the eBay shipping house, and then they pay extra to have it shipped to them, if that makes sense. And then the last one looks like an amazing sale, except this is retail arbitrage. I paid $70 for these shoes. It's a brand new pair of Doc Martens. I bought 3 pairs of brand new black and pink Doc Martens for $70 each. This is the first pair that has finally sold, and it sold internationally. So I still made, you know, $40 off of this sale, but it did take a year. Again, that's why I don't do RA. It sold for $119.87, and the buyer paid for shipping to the global shipping program, and then that person paid, I don't know how much money to ship it to wherever they live. But I'm so glad one of them has sold, and I've gotten some of my money back. Again, I've learned my lesson. No more RA for me. I just suck at it. So that is everything that sold for that week. I hope this was interesting to you. Again, thank you for listening to my Depop stories, and I hope I haven't discouraged you from trying that platform. I'm just giving you some hopefully helpful advice if you decide to do that. Again, you can use Vendoo. It's going to be linked down in my description. And I will see you guys next week. Until then, bye. Bye.